Ever walk into a room and just feel your mood shift? Like maybe a burst of energy in a bright yellow kitchen or feeling totally zen in a cool blue bathroom.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like color has this secret power over us, right?
It's totally a thing, and that's exactly what we're diving into today.
Exactly. We're talking color theory, how it shapes our emotions, tells stories, even changes the way we see a painting.
It's amazing how much is going on beneath the surface when you really start to pay attention.
So true. We've been digging into a fascinating article from Art News on Irish Art Mart called Color Theory in Practice.
Love that blog. Always full of good stuff.
Right, and it really gets into the nitty-gritty, which I appreciate. But before we go full art critic.
We should probably cover the basics.
Exactly, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Color Theory 101.
Makes sense. It's like you wouldn't try to bake a cake without knowing what flour is, right?
Perfect analogy. So let's start with the color wheel. Remember that thing from elementary school?
Oh, yeah. Good old ROI, GBV.
Yes. You've got your primary colors. Red, yellow, blue. The building blocks of the entire color universe.
The OGs of the color world.
Haha, exactly. Then you mix those together, and you get your secondary colors orange, green, violet.
It's like magic. You start with a few basic colors, and suddenly you've got a whole rainbow.
Right. And then it gets even cooler because you can blend a primary with a secondary color.
And bam, you've got tertiary colors.
Exactly. And those are the more complex shades we see in nature and art, those really subtle, nuanced hues.
Totally. But it's not just about the colors themselves, right? There's more to it than just red, blue, green.
You're talking about saturation and value.
Exactly so. Hue is just the name of the color, like saying, that's blue. But saturation tells you how intense that blue is.
Oh, okay. So like a fire truck red versus a faded brick wall red.
Exactly. Both red, but totally different vibes.
Right, totally. It's like that time I tried to pick out a warm white paint for my kitchen and ended up with something that looks straight up yellow.
Oh, no. The decorating struggle is real.
Tell me about it.
But that's why understanding value is so important, too. That's about how light or dark a color is.
So you could have a really deep, almost black navy blue or a super light, airy sky blue.
Exactly. Same hue, totally different moods because of the value.
Okay, so we've got our color vocabulary down. But how do artists actually put these colors together in a way that looks amazing and not like a 5-year-old just got let loose with a paint set?
Ah, now you're talking about color schemes.
Exactly. It's like there's a real strategy to it.
Absolutely.
It's like knowing which colors play well together, like some kind of secret color code.
Exactly. There's a real art and science to it.
Yeah.
And just like there are different ways to build a house, Victorian, modern, whatever, there are different color schemes artists use to create different effects.
Okay, so let's break it down. What are some of these color schemes and how do they work?
Well, one of the most common ones you've probably heard of is complementary colors.
Oh, right, like those color wheels they used to make us memorize in art class.
Exactly. Complementary colors are those that sit directly opposite each other on the color wheel. So you've got your classic pairings: red and green, blue and orange, yellow and purple.
Oh, yeah, those always seem to make an appearance during the holidays. Not always the best combinations, if you ask me.
Haha. Well, it depends on how you use them. When done right, complementary colors can create this really vibrant, eye-catching effect. They kind of make each other stand out even more because they're such stark contrasts.
Oh, so it's like that whole opposites attract kind of thing.
Exactly. Think of it like this. If you see a field of green grass, it's pretty, but then you add a single red poppy, and suddenly that red just TOPS, it grabs your attention.
Okay, I get it. It's all about that contrast. So complementary colors are high energy, high impact. What about something a bit more, chill?
Ah, then you might like analogous color schemes. These are all about creating harmony and a sense of calm.
Ooh, tell me more. How do they work?
So instead of using colors that are opposite each other, analogous schemes use colors that are right next to each other on the color wheel.
Okay, so like a gradient effect.
Exactly. Think about a sunset. You've got those warm yellows blending into oranges, then into reds. It just flows naturally.
Sounds soothing. So if I wanted to create a really relaxing vibe in my bedroom, I should go with an analogous color scheme.
Absolutely. Blues and greens are always a good bet for a serene atmosphere. Or maybe some warm peaches and creams for a cozier feel. It's all about creating those smooth transitions and gentle blends. Now, on the flip side, have you ever noticed how some artists can create really powerful pieces using just a single color?
You mean like how some paintings are mostly just shades of blue, but they're still so captivating?
Exactly. That's the power of a monochromatic color scheme.
Monochromatic, so like one color, but in different shades and tones.
Exactly. You're basically exploring the full potential of a single color, from its lightest tints all the way to its darkest, most intense shades.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. So it's not about being boring or one-dimensional at all.
Not even. In fact, I think it forces you to be even more creative because you're limited to just those variations within one hue. You have to really pay attention to saturation and value to create depth and visual interest. Think of Picasso's blue period, for example.
Oh, right. It's like those paintings are drenched in this deep, almost melancholic blue.
Exactly.
It's amazing how much emotion he conveys with just those blues.
Right. It's like proof that you don't need a million colors to create something really powerful and moving. Sometimes less is more.
Totally. So we've talked about how different color schemes can create different vibes, but what about the psychology of individual colors? Why do some colors just make us feel a certain way?
Well, a lot of it comes down to our own personal experiences and cultural associations. I mean, think about it. The colors we grew up around, the ones we see in nature, they all leave their mark on us, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like growing up on the coast, I've always been drawn to blues and greens. They just make me feel calm and peaceful.
Exactly. And that's pretty universal with blue, actually. It's often associated with calmness, peace, tranquility.
Makes sense, since it reminds us of the ocean and the sky, like these vast, endless spaces. It's no wonder it's such a popular choice for bedrooms and bathrooms.
Right. Create that serene vibe. And then you've got your warm colors, yellow, for example, always so cheerful and optimistic.
Like a burst of sunshine.
Exactly. Yellow is associated with happiness, energy, creativity. It's a really stimulating color, but too much yellow can actually have the opposite effect, you know?
Really?
Yeah, it can be kind of overwhelming and even anxiety-inducing if it's overdone. It's like anything else, moderation is key.
That makes sense. So it's all about finding that balance,
Yeah.
right? Using color thoughtfully to create the desired effect.
Exactly. And that's what I love about this whole topic. It's not just about picking colors you like. It's about understanding how they work together, how they can communicate a message, evoke a feeling. It's really fascinating when you start to pay attention to it.
This deep dive has been a total eye-opener. I feel like I'm looking at color in a whole new way.
I love that. The exciting part is that this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to explore with color theory.
It's true. And the best part is we can all be color detectives in our own lives.
Exactly. Just start paying attention to the colors around you, how they make you feel, how they're being used in art and design. You might be surprised by what you notice.
Such a great point. And on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this colorful conversation. But for everyone listening, keep those color wheels handy and those eyes peeled. The world is a much more vibrant place when you start to see the nuances of color. Until next time, happy exploring.